Alright guys, so we're gonna get started with the cooking part. Before we do that, there's one part that we neglected to mention, which is the spice mix. Right, so this is really what makes butter chicken is that there are some specific spices that we gotta use. The most important one, of course, is this one. It's called garam masala. This is something that you can find in some specialty stores. I don't know how to make it from scratch myself, so I just buy it from stores, but you can find it from specialty stores. I know that Fairway and 125th sells stuff like this, and it's something that's I don't really use for a lot of things, but if you want to make some curries or if you want to get into learning how to make some Indian food, this is definitely a spice that you'd want to get. So we'll get that in right here. So this is about 2 tablespoons of garam masala. Another thing that's very important to Indian cuisine is this one. This is ground cumin, and the ground cumin I'm also going to spoon in. So I'll probably need about 1 teaspoon of ground cumin. That's fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of paprika just to give it a little bit of flavor and some color as well. Oh, that doesn't fit. That's okay. Not a lot. Maybe a teaspoon, half a teaspoon. And another one is ground coriander. So we had the coriander as the herb, which is right here, cilantro, but we also have some ground dried coriander that we could use. That's gonna add to the flavor. So I'll add about 1, maybe 2 teaspoons. That's fine. So these are going to be the spices that we'll mainly use, and we're gonna add about a teaspoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of some pepper. Right about there. So a lot of pepper. We'll give that some flavor. So now that we have the spice mix, we have the vegetables. The chicken is still getting ready. Chicken's almost done, and I'll show you what that looks like in about 25 seconds or so. What we're gonna do is we're going to need about 2 tablespoons of butter. So this is some salted butter. It's like creamy butter. So I'm gonna slice about 2 tablespoons worth of that. And I'm gonna turn on the stove so that we can start melting our butter. In about 4 seconds, we're gonna take a look at the chicken. Now, so what does the chicken look like? Now I turned the chicken over, so right now it looks like this. It has like some brown spots on the bottom. You turn it over, because I turned it over earlier. It definitely has some brown spots, some char, and we want that to have a little bit of flavor. We're gonna let this chicken rest for about 10 minutes or so. So we're just gonna let that sit here in the air fryer. But we're gonna take that back and put it in the chicken. Right now, I'm waiting for the butter to start melting, and I'm gonna cook the butter in about medium heat, so it doesn't have to be too hot, because if it's too hot, butter is going to burn. So this is about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna lower the heat, and I'm gonna start adding the vegetables in. Or you can just point it at that.
Okay. What about the leaves?
The leaves? No, we don't need it yet. So that's actually for garnish for later, but good question. Thanks, producer. Alright, so it's starting to bubble. I'm waiting for this to start to crack, meaning the milk solid that's in the butter and the oil that's in the butter starts to separate. And once I start to see that, that's when I'll add this. So, you just got to be patient. And I guess for now, I think I'll turn on the fan. So if you want to film me. Alright, so when that's done, you want to take a look at this actually? You're going to put it in. I know it seems like a lot, because it is, but this is going to be the base of what we're cooking. So we're going to start to smell really good. It's going to start to be aromatic. So we're going to let that soften a little bit, and at the same time I'm also going to add the rest of our stuff. So I'm gonna add the spices in this as well. So if you want to check this out and take a look while I add the spices. This is our spice mix. So we're gonna add this as well. So we're gonna let that blend together like this. Our chicken is resting in the air fryer. Let that blend. That's gonna wake up the spices. That's gonna soften the onions, the pepper, the garlic, and the ginger so that they release their flavor. I'm gonna keep it at low because I don't want this to burn. So we're gonna keep it at that. While this is cooking, I think I'm gonna wait for about 10 minutes or so while we let this sweat, and we can come back in about 10 minutes.